If you want to get more information about hands-on co-production or networking or financing or whatever in Europe, you have to visit this website. You may even have to become a member. It's a membership organization. That's what it basically is. And it's all about introducing people to other professionals from Europe especially, but in general the world. We have 60 countries represented as members at EDN. So I can really recommend you to visit this website and find out more about the organization. It gives you all kind of information about activities, festivals, workshops, whatever. It has a lot of online activities. Just introduced something called online pitching, where you can pitch your project to a commissioning editor or commissioning editors that are online. You can have online discussions with commissioning editors. What are their profile? What are they looking for? It gives out something called the financing guide, which is also called the Bible, because for a producer it holds the essential information. If you're interested in making an international documentary, of course you have to know, so what are the broadcasters looking for? And you have all the broadcasters in Europe and also some of them from US and outside of Europe listed. What are the slots? What are they looking for? Who are the commissioning editor? Who is in charge of the slot, etc., etc. It also gives out a magazine called Docs that comes 4 times a year, sorry. Yeah, you can come to us and hear more about it. We just wanted to introduce it to you because it is the organization that deals with documentary on an international level and on a very concrete level.
And what's your position in EDN?
My position, I don't have a position at the moment actually, but from 1st of January I will be head of studies, which means that I will be mainly in charge of the events that EDN are involved in. I have been a board member for 4 years, which I'm not anymore, and yeah, from next year I will be head of studies.
Good. Okay, so what we are going to do here is that we will take you on a quick tour around Europe to show some clips and say some words about the European documentary landscape. There are many workshops and seminars and so on going on in all Europe, and I would say that even if we talked about crisis with public television, etc., and also public funding, I think that it should be said that there's one source of funding which has not changed, going down or not. On the contrary, it has become better and better year by year, and that is the media program support, which is enormously important. It has supported Storydoc, it has supported and is supporting a lot of workshops and festivals around Europe. So as the co-production activity has really gone up since the beginning of the 1990s, it's very much because of what the European Union media program has put money into. So bravo for that. We will start in the north, and that will be Mr. Opstrup, who will stand up from his chair and tell us something about the Nordic landscape.
Yes, now we have to get up because now we're going to talk about films. So now we get enthusiastic. So now we can't sit down anymore. We have to use our hands out. Yeah, I'm Danish, as Tue is. As you can probably hear from my language, we speak English like this, huh? But then when we talk about documentaries, we get more lively also in our language. So we'll start in the north. which is basically the Scandinavian countries or the Nordic countries. There's actually a difference, but I won't get into that details. It's Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Iceland. And I think you have to. We are a bit different in the sense that Norway, Denmark, and Sweden sort of have the same history, also in terms of films. And I think in order to understand the situation of documentary film in these three countries, we have to recognize that we are social democratic countries. It's the social democrats that has made the foundation for the countries as we are now. Although we, for instance, in Denmark have had a liberal conservative government for the last 11 years, we're still basically social democrats. And what did that mean in terms of films? It meant that when they got in power in the 30s, 40s, they felt that we had to educate the people. So they built a lot of cultural foundations, and one of them were the national, they were called the National Film Boards or the Film Institutes or whatever they were called, but it was a huge load of money into production of documentaries, and more than that, which was very important, it was distribution. Especially in Norway and Denmark, it was a little different in the other countries, but the films were distributed. We grew up with watching documentaries in school on a regular basis. We got it in with the mother milk, so to speak. So it meant a lot. Everybody knows about that when you come from those countries. These situations at school where you watch documentaries, it was part of education. And the other thing is that it meant a lot for the filmmakers. The knowledge that your film will actually be distributed, and that it was in the same house. The production support and the distribution was in the same house. It was National Film Board or Film Institute. I think it means a lot, and I think it means a lot for the understanding of the Nordic countries. It has changed, of course. If we shall paint a broader picture, it has changed from educating the people more to the word that let's just say that we use the word creative documentary, huh? Although it can definitely be discussed, I think so too, but let's just use it. And I think especially in terms of Norway, Sweden and Denmark, it has, the tradition now is quite strongly on the narrative documentary, the documentary that has a strong story, that may have a protagonist whose story you follow. I think in general you can say that. The influence, of course, very strong from the National Film Fund, the Film Institute, that support the documentaries heavily. There has also been a strong influence from the TV. We all have quite strong public broadcasters that 10-15 years ago were the only ones. And since they were public broadcasters, and since they didn't have the commercial competition, they didn't just represent the market as a lot of the broadcasters do now. They also had a responsibility for taking care of documentary. I would like to start by showing a little clip from a Danish film. Maybe you've heard about it. It's called Armadillo. It won quite a lot of prizes around. For instance, Semaine de la Critique in Cannes last year. This year. Which is, as far as I know, the first documentary that has actually won this section. And that, of course, says a lot about the documentary. It's called Armadillo because Armadillo is the name of the military camp where the Danish soldiers are in Afghanistan. We're at war. And this was the encouragement for the director to make the film, because since it was the first time that Denmark, since 1864, it was the first time that Denmark was the aggressive part in the war, huh? Not just defending ourselves, but we didn't discuss it. So he wanted to make a film about that, but he wanted to make it character-driven, which is, as I said, a quite strong tradition nowadays in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, especially, I would say. So you will see from the clip. I will show you the start. It's only like 3 or 4 minutes. That you will see that because of course, if you want to make a film about Danish soldiers at war, it could be subject-driven. You could go there. You could interview the soldiers. You could talk with the politicians. Why did they take the decision? There's a lot of things you could do. But they chose to pick especially one main character, but several characters. So let's just see how this is introduced by showing the first, I think it's the first 4 minutes of the film. Okay?